Listen here, I can't go another year. No, I can't be up in here complaining. Gotta let them know I'm famous in my heart. Listen here, I'm here for the world to hear. And I'ma make sure they know what my name is. I just wanna end up famous in
I'm
their
so serious,
heart.
probably why they be so damn curious. They furious. Easy got these ladies on some silly shit. Now what the dilly is, I'm going all out. Hey, I'm the talk of the town while y'all just saw a mouth. Here's a story about my quest to be rich. I'm like Beyonce and Kelly on some Destiny shit. Mr. 6 Mile, look me up, I'm somewhat a dream. Got my city like an addict, guess it's somewhat a fiend. For my team, anything less is uncivilized. Surprise, I'm seeing this world through clear eyes. And haters only made me more inspired to bless. On the clock right now, what the hell is the next? Like that feeling in your chest when you're ready to leave. Like that memory you had, you just couldn't believe. And we always got a little ammunition for y'all, cause we remember when they wouldn't even listen at all.
Listen here, I can't go another year. No, I can't be up in here complaining. Gotta let them know I'm famous in my heart. Listen here, I'm here for the world to hear. And I'ma make sure they know my name is. Wanna end up famous in there.
In 97 on Gunston and 6 Measy, the streets made a natural born hustler. Believe me, drop real with it. That was my first EP. Grind harder than granted, but made it look easy. Take it to the top, that was the plan. Now I'm known worldwide, from Detroit to Japan. 14 years span, fuck hot nigga, I'm scorching. I done got the fame, now I want the fortune.
And welcome to another great episode of the Jackson Report, episode 20. Which one is it, Chuck?
This is 27.
Oh, it's episode 27. I was about to say 28. I don't know why, but episode 27 in the day. Today, since last week was so boring, as far as news-wise and topic-wise, everybody been waiting on me to speak. Everybody been waiting on me to put my reverend hat on, I guess. So the one thing that did come up in the news, oh, you got a Roku TV hookup for me? Who is that, Chuck?
Cassius Marciano.
Oh, my man, I got you. Inbox me. Send me your link. Send me your number, and I'll get with you. But today, I guess I'm going to put on my pastor hat because over this past week, I saw something. This Lil Nas X and this Satan shoe situation, I argued with somebody because when I first saw them post it, I thought the man was lying. I thought he was playing. I'm like, there's no way on God's green earth that a shoe of this caliber would be being released. And apparently the shoe contains holy water from the River Jordan and a drop of human blood in every soul. And he only made 666 pair of them. And he's selling them for $1,018. Which brought me to a great point. It started me to thinking, just how many people gonna support this? Because if I'm correct, I think Lil Nas X is a part of the LGBTQ community far as a rapper he came out. Just how much support is his product gonna get? Which brings me to the point of my whole show today. Because of how this past week has been, when I saw this shoe, it manifested something in me. And some people may want to hear this. A lot of people may not want to hear this. But we living in a time, y'all. We living in a time where everything that was once sacred is no more. It's almost like to look at how the generations have changed and look at how times have changed, there was a time when something like this would have been protested so much. The fact that I saw this and I saw just how easy it was for them to put this out into the atmosphere, and the thought crossed my mind, how many people is really going to go out and buy this shoe? Not because of Lil Nas X or because it's a Nike brand shoe. But what the shoe represents made me realize what's needed in the time that we living in right now. We living in a time where, for those of my viewers that's into this sort of thing, we living in a time of revelations. We living in a time of signs and wonders and plagues and men being idolaters. Children against parents, parents against children. All of the parables that was written about in this book that some say is fake, most of us call it believers' instructions before leaving earth. But if you think about the time we living in, how far off is that book? So today I figure, now's a good enough time as any to get my message across. Since everybody putting out messages into the mainstream, messages into the atmosphere, let me jump in that line. And this just from my little observation, my little humble opinion. But some of the things I see happen, some of the things I see us marvel over, utterly amazes me. We all living for imagery. Think about this past year. I've been making jokes like, yeah, the whole world is going through a pan pizza. We in a panhandle. It's a pandemonium. We're in a panoramic view. All of these things. But we saw a disease come out of left field that wiped out over 500,000 people in America so far. We seeing kids get killed, mass shootings. All of these acts of inhumanity. And in the midst of all of this, where do our beliefs lie? Do our beliefs lie in social media? Do they lie in television programming? Where do our beliefs lie? That's why I said all day long that this show was going to be one where I wanted the interaction. Because looking at it from a spiritual point of view, we steamroll into destruction. It's like objectifying women nowadays is the new normal. Promoting violence get you record deals. Basically, being a whore on a song make you the hottest artist ever. And this the show, Chuck. I'm not caring. This the show that might not get many views, might not get much interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But today I felt the need to address the disgust that I feel seeing everything that's happening.
It is interesting that you brought up how in the past this would have been a really big deal,
Exactly.
and now it's not really.
It's just like,
It's like a meme.
right, we seen it, just passed over.
Yeah, it strikes me as mostly a publicity stunt.
And when I saw, it's a video that goes with it.
Yeah, I'll try and pull that up.
And the thing of it is in the video, he's supposedly giving Satan a lap dance. I saw that. And I'm talking about me being in minister mode, and I had this White Claw. But the thing of it is in church we have communion. And no, I'm not blaspheming or playing with the name of God or playing with religion or nothing like that. But the fact of knowing that I was raised around a host of spiritual people, from my grannies to my neighbors to friends of the family, everybody believed in something. Church was a normal thing for us. Nowadays, it's almost like you'll be tarred and feathered.
You want to see the video?
Yeah, if we could show the video without getting banned.
Yeah, I think we can, as long as we don't use the sound. This is like kind of weird. I would.
Yeah, it's weird as hell.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play like the lap dance part, but it's weird.
This is crazy. Like, look at this. This is the stuff that get promoted. Exactly. Look
Yeah,
at that.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch
The
it.
dude. Wow. This dude literally made a video licking the devil's face and giving him a lap dance. And this is what's acceptable to certain parts of society now. When do we get to go back to the time where stuff like this was hid off in the deep corners of America? Like, it's like nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. Everything is so politically correct. That something like this, whereas this should have got all kind of flack, should have got banned, should have got protested, it's allowable. Why? Because somebody will say, oh, they're tarnishing my religion by not playing this video. It's what I believe in. We living in a time where it's so bad that excuses get made for stone cold killers that wake up and decide to shoot up a grocery store. Or to travel around the city killing Asian women just because you had a bad sexual experience. So again, I ask, where are our beliefs? To address the people that say sometimes I get on my show and I rant, God damn it, sometimes ranting is needed. Because where I was raised at, I was always told the righteous are as bold as lions. So when I feel something in my spirit, best believe I pay damn good money on a weekly basis to be able to address y'all with it. And that wasn't a shot at the person that told me about my rants. That was just me acknowledging that I hear you and I understand you. But this is what makes me me. My willingness on a weekly basis to, regardless of how I'm feeling or what I'm experiencing in my own life to be able to sit up here and put a message across to y'all that I feel y'all need to hear. And right now, it's somebody sitting at home going through the pandemic, might have lost their job, might not be sure what's going to happen next. But in the era I come from, what's going to happen next? And this coming from me because I've been feeling this all week, even since I was up there with you, cuz, in Dallas. Even in church, we was always taught that it's always darkest before the light comes. And I don't know if y'all riding high off of them stimulus checks and tax refunds coming in and this unemployment with this weekly 300 bonus they giving everybody. But we living in a dark hour. We don't know who's sick, who well, who vaccinated, who asymptomatic. But yet we have to live our daily lives. And I said this at the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was so fearful. It's a lot of people I know still fearful of getting back to their normal day to day because they don't know if the person next to them might be sick and don't know it, or if the person in front of them sick, know it and just don't care. But I said this at the beginning of it. We walking through an era where God's showing his hand because it's only so long man can try to play God, control the weather, control the population, control the economy before God has to step in and show y'all how it's really done. All of this got sparked when I saw that shoe. I'm thinking I'll be god doggone. A shoe with an actual pentagram on it. Supposedly human blood in the soles. With holy water from the River Jordan.
Well, the holy water, I think you're thinking. Yeah, I think you got it slightly backwards because they previously released a pair of Nike Air Max 97s, which contained what it described as holy water in its sole.
Oh, so he went against what they did.
Well, this is the same
company.
Yeah.
So they just.
And what's weird is, where's the picture of the shoe?
So
I got another one.
So the company just all around.
That seems like a lot more than a drop.
Yeah.
It's like a full blood sample.
That's crazy. And it's supposedly the blood samples of the employees of the company.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Did you see the alternate shoe?
Wow.
This is a Lil Nas tweet to even the score.
Oh, wow. Chick-fil-A. Why would see why I think I needed that. Why would Chick-fil-A endorse something like that?
No, they didn't.
They allowed them to use the logo.
No, I think he made this and just tweeted a picture just as a joke.
I was about to say because I know I could just about imagine that the John 3:16 was on there.
Yeah.
Because if it's the Jesus shoe with holy water from the River Jordan. But the fact that the first thing I noticed was the Chick-fil-A thing. Oh, I had a whole rant about that one, cuz that would have sent me off for the next 10 minutes because Chick-fil-A, my views of Chick-fil-A, that's for another day. But
yeah, Chick-fil-A did not immediately respond.
I was about to say, because the thing of it is Chick-fil-A is weird in itself because they claim to be a Christian company. They closed on Sundays and all of that. Yet, they're homophobes. And at one point in time, I believe I read that they was reportedly racist too. So how is that Christian like? But that's like another story for another day. Like, we own this shoe that's supposedly, like, what could they tell you as an employee at your job to get you to give a blood sample to go in some shoes? What was the what was the kickback for them doing that?
Notoriety, I guess.
Like, to be like, you walking on my blood there. I sat in there, my arm's still hurting from making them shoes. Like, what could they tell you? That had to be an awkward ass work day. You come in and it's like, why is the Red Cross here? Oh, we need some blood from you. Like, what's going on? Like, is we getting vaccinated? What is the blood for? Oh, we got a new shoe coming out, and you need my blood for it? Like, what do you? How do you even get that across? But the thing of it is, when I saw that, on top of, I had a run-in with somebody. And we was literally just talking about general stuff like the world and music and all of this stuff. And the fact that this person said, I need to start talking freaky so I can get me a deal and get rich. It put something on my mind like, wow. The fact that I used to do music and that never was the thought on my mind. And it was always like, I want to make something that's going to make somebody feel better about their position in life. So when I saw that shoe and had that conversation, it made me sit back and be like, damn, we doomed out here. We doomed out here. So many people, and don't get me wrong, I don't knock nobody for whatever they believe in and whatever they do. I'm not a judger of persons. It's not my place to judge you in your life. Oh, but the fact that I have to say this, because I wouldn't be me if I didn't. Everybody with this new trend of crystals and ashe, and all of that. And y'all calling it woke. Oh yeah, I done just turned down a corner on y'all. Where did that come from? I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not trying to shit on nobody's beliefs. I'm not trying to get nobody that's really deep into that to put no hoodoo hexes on me or nothing. But where did that come from? All of a sudden, everybody is, oh, this crystal is doing this to me, and this crystal is doing that, and my ancestors. My ancestors was from Lawrence, South Carolina, and Homer, Louisiana. So if I say I'm praying to my ancestors, I'm praying to my grandma and them, who used to pray to God. I told you, I said it when I got here, Chuck. I said today's show gonna be different because there's so much on my mind about what I've been seeing going on. And everybody been waiting on me to speak rather boldly. I made a Facebook post this morning saying I wanted people to interact because I really want different perspectives, because I'm just at a loss, like, where did all of this come from? All of the stuff with my ancestors told me. And I know a lot of y'all that I see doing this. You wasn't talking about your ancestors 5-6 years ago. Where did this new trends spike up from? And what makes it so believable to y'all? This episode, Chuck might have 12 views, but we don't care because this is me. This is the point. I've been waiting to get to this point. I figured I couldn't do it in episode 2 or 3. I probably wouldn't have had fans. I probably wouldn't have had views. But we at a point now where I could start addressing the things that bothers me. And this one of them. I mean, it's cool. I'm cool with the sage thing and the positive thinking. But this whole crystals and my ancestors and all of this. The person that can give me proof, educate me on it, like I always say, I'm man enough to be like, you know what? That makes sense. I understand. But at this point, I can't get behind it because I don't understand that. All of this, my ancestors and all of these things. Are you doing it because it's research you've done on your own, or are you doing it because it's the cool thing to do because everybody else around you is speaking on it? So I'm asking my woke friends, my woke people that may be viewing my show, educate me on that. Who started this whole crystals thing? And everybody that I've asked, oh, my family been into that. It's like, I've been around your family. Y'all just had Bibles and all that kind of stuff a couple years ago. Now y'all got crystals and sage and all of this stuff and ashe, ashe. And all of that, I'm not knocking nobody. Trust and believe when I say. I'm not knocking nobody's beliefs. But the logical thinking person in me is like, where did this spike up from? And what are y'all believing in?
What are these crystals you're talking about?
It's like people that they do rituals with the crystals and they saying this crystal for healing and this crystal is for positive thinking and this crystal is for health. And it's almost like, dare I say, I feel like they worshiping crystals. And it's I didn't want to tread in those waters because it could piss some people off. But this America, this what shows like mine is about. Like, I'm just trying to find out, how does that make you woke? When you say that, people, it's like all of the woke people, they know better. Like, I was listening to a T.I. song and T.I. said it. The art of not fighting back was given to us by Christianity, which was given to us by our oppressors. And I thought that was a clever line. Like, you know what? Dang. They do tell us to go pray about it when they actually savage about it. But the fact of the book that I read, and it took me 2.5 years to read the whole Bible, from my understanding of it, everything that I read in those last chapters of the Bible is everything that we're experiencing now today. So it leads me to believe that somebody back then was in tune with something that was greater than himself or herself or themselves. Because they was able to foresee the things that were forthcoming for generations beyond theirs. So you ask yourself, my crystal people, What were they believing in? Their ancestors? And this may be offending some people, but when God put it on my heart to speak it, I'm not scared of what you're offended by. I'm not worried about what you're offended by. Because maybe somebody should have told you a long time ago. You cruising down the street that ain't meant to be cruised down. Because the spirit world and what you speak into existence is very real. I just told somebody 5 minutes before I came on air on a cell phone. When God made the earth and he created all these things, he wasn't writing them down with a pen and a pad. He spoke and it was. And I say that in reference to let y'all understand words are powerful. If you keep speaking about what you don't have, oh, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, you won't have it. So again, I'm asking everybody, what are your beliefs? Because the fact that I saw this Lil Nas story and it was all up and down Facebook. And every time I saw it, I opened it up to see how many comments it'd be on it and what was people saying. And I'm like, it's damn near like this is acceptable. And somebody somewhere gonna run out and spend that money on those shoes. That's represent everything we was raised against. Everything. It's almost like the world went from being the Garden of Eden to Sodom and Gomorrah.
I think the trend of people being less religious as time goes on, or at least America, there's been a decline
Exactly.
in religiousness.
And that's what's scary to me. That is what's scary to me. Especially for a country that prides itself on what? God, and then what? Country. But what God is they priding themselves on? That's the key question. I kept saying today I was going to get on here and find out public opinion and not so much try to voice my own opinion on everything. But I just feel the need to. I feel the need to enlighten people. Because half of the people I see talking about all of this woke stuff and all of this stuff was raised the same way I was. Money kind of is the God of America, if you think about it. The things people will do and the depths that they'll go to get it is what's controlling the world. But if we revert back to that book that don't nobody believe in nowadays, do it add up to y'all? When he say it's the root of all evil, is it starting to be clear to y'all now? Is it starting to add up? We just saw a video of a grown man licking another man's face and giving him a lap dance for the sake of what? It's not that much poverty in all of the world that would make you sacrifice your whole being, your integrity as a man. For what? Like, it's not enough money in this world. And I was just asked this question last night. It's not enough money in this world to make me compromise the man that I am just for the sake of saying I'm rich or wealthy. And it reverts to all aspects of us in the black community. You think about it. This whole time I've been doing my show, I've been trying to really steer clear of going one direction or the other, of addressing the white folks or addressing the black folks. But on this day, if this be the last show I ever get to record, this day I'm going to go out saying what I really feel. When do we wake up for real? I was having this conversation. I think I even said it to you a couple times, Kayon. Every female artist that's topping the charts now is talking about what? How good they fuck, how good they suck, or all of the freak nasty shit they can do to us as men. Every hot selling dude, other than Lil Baby, and that's my opinion. And you could add the Baby in there a little bit, because he is transcending things. He kind of innovating with what he's doing. But everybody else talking about what? The same stuff. Money, women, violence. Nobody talking about nothing that's going to uplift us as people no more. Every TV show nowadays. Homosexuality, violence, sex trafficking. And if it don't involve none of those things or drugs, the show's not hot. It's not getting ratings. So it led me to start wondering, what have we become? And just how long we think this show gonna last before the ultimate producer decide that the show's canceled. Yeah, I go on rants when it's something that's passionate to me and something that's close to my heart. And I feel like some of the people that I see know better. But I feel like they don't speak out because they feel like, I don't want to go against the crowd. I don't want to be the one that look lame for telling everybody y'all seem crazy talking about crystals and ashe and praying to the ancestors who prayed to God. And yeah, I'm fully prepared for any backlash I may get for this episode. But I can't get behind that. It just don't make sense to me. Because they're material things. And like I said, researchers, somebody show me proof of the miracles and the miraculous thing that the ancestors have done. Besides live a life just like you and I did, trying to press towards something positive. And I didn't even know when I sat down here. I had so much other stuff that I was going to speak on. But when I sat down here and the way I got engulfed about this spirituality thing, the Bible speaks of a spiritual warfare. Are we not seeing it today? It speaks of a great divide in the last days. Are we not seeing that today? It speaks how man will become so engulfed with everything else that they'll forget about God. Are we not seeing that today? I was having a conversation earlier with somebody. And the person I was having a conversation with was going through a tough time. So I tried to speak life into their situation. And in the midst of that, I had to tell them something about myself. And I wasn't speaking on it in a way of like, shake it and get over it. But I spoke it in a way to hopefully inspire. And like I told him, I said, you know what my Christmas gift was? My uncle passing. You know what my New Year's resolution to myself was? For my uncle that passed shortly after New Year's to keep watching over me. I told this person, I said, you think in 5 years that I've been in Texas, and I never got to go back to my hometown, that I wanted to go back to my hometown to bury what was like my niece? But in the midst of all of that, I was still recording shows, going to work, moving about. Why? Because a spirit was on me that wasn't going to let me grieve, wasn't going to let me be sad, wasn't going to let me have my head down, because the spirit that was on me said, I have a plan. And my plan you may not understand, but my plan is for the betterment of everybody around you, including you. So even if after this episode you leave and you offended because I talked about the crystal people, or you didn't like what I said because I was ranting this whole hour, walk away from this show with this. Understanding this. There is only one God, the creator of all things, that sits up high and looks down at everything he created. His grace and his mercy has been proven time and time again. No, I'm not a pastor. Probably should have been. But for any time you think your situation hard and you ready to hang your head low, look up and remember it's people like me, people like other people that I know, that's walking through journeys with our heads held high, because we understand greater is he that is within me than he that is within this world. I wanted to do this show today like this because we at a time where people scared to live life because this virus is escalating. People scared to be who they truly are because God is being frowned upon. People feel pressured into being something they totally not, just to fit in. So I woke up this morning and took it upon myself to feel like, what's the purpose of me having a show if I'm not going to try to enlighten the people that watch it? What's the purpose of all this production that we put together on a weekly basis if every week I just get up here and talk about stuff that y'all already see in the news? So for all my loyal viewers, consider this the launching point. Because from this day, y'all gonna really hear my standpoint on everything. Whether y'all like it, whether y'all agree with it, or whether y'all don't. Because I'm not a newscaster, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a man that loves talking to y'all.
We got a comment on the DeWitt Jackson stream.
And what they
We'll
say.
look at it.
What up, though? Exactly. They taught us a lot of different stuff. But on the same note, it's even in the Bible. His skin was the color of bronze and his hair was like sheep's wool. Plus, Jesus was a carpenter. So Jesus was a man of color. He was a man of color. I'm not going to say, everybody always want to say he was black. He was this. There's many different colors out here other than the European color. Skin the color of bronze, yes, that meant he was a person of color. But you look at where the Garden of Eden is supposedly located. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, all of that is near the equator. There's no way you could be that close to the equator without pigmentation in your skin. So yes, he was a man of color. That's one of my beliefs. I don't believe he's this picture that they depict on the wall with long, straight hair and pale skin. I don't believe that at all. I believe he was a man's man. He was a carpenter, and he had to be a man's man because you know how bold you have to be to still stay in your lane when everybody around you is telling you you crazy, everybody around you is not believing you, everybody is ridiculing you, and you still love them and still sacrifice everything that is you for the sake of them. That was a man's man. Maybe we all need to take a lesson from that. And start getting back to the point of actually considering each other, even though we may not agree with each other. Get back to the point of actually helping one another. Especially for my people that say they believers like I am. God was not a respecter of persons, people. So imagine if God was racist. Imagine that. Imagine if he decided, I'm only going to bless the people that's from Israel and not the rest of the world. Some of the things to think about when you're going about your day to day and you see somebody that might not dress like you dress, or whose car might not be new as your car, might not walk into that same fancy restaurant you walking into, might not be quick to jump on a flight to Miami. Think about what if God looked at us the way sometimes we look at each other. My whole 4 or 5 month run on this show, I've been preaching unity. It may come from far-fetched angles, but this whole time I've been preaching unity. Why? Because I come from a belief system, people. I come from a belief system that runs so deep within me that I've been suppressing it this whole 4 or 5 months I've been doing this show. Because I felt like, let me grow my audience before I can engulf them. Let me say this and let me do this. Let me be the politically correct person. But people don't like politically correctness. People like it when you bold and go against the grain. Say something that make them sit back and think about some things. And don't get me wrong about nothing that I said. When it comes to the music, the fact that these people is becoming millionaires for a talent that they have, I applaud that. But if it takes compromising who you are as a person, the things that you believe in, and you only being the kind of person that they want you to be to get a couple dollars, that's when I can't get behind it. I can't. I can't get behind every time I turn a song on. If it's a female rapping, it's she objectifying herself. But if you took that same principle and went out into the world and said them same things to another female, now you're wrong. At the end of this show, hopefully all of y'all that tuned in and got a chance to see this episode gonna think beyond all of the madness that gets promoted in our eyes. Think beyond this agenda that keep getting pushed on us and keep pulling us further and further away from all the morals, values, and beliefs that we were raised upon. Every week, I try to be a better person and I try to make y'all leave my show with stuff on y'all mind to hopefully make y'all better people. I often say it, speak what you seek till you see what you spoke. Because words indeed are powerful. So before I get off the air, my am I with it part, am I with how society is going today? Hell no, I'm not. And I say that literally, hell no. Because society is going straight to hell and I'm not going with it. It's time to really wake up, people. Everybody swear they so woke. Wake up for real. Because are you woke or are you just sleepwalking? I always got to give y'all a jewel before I get up off this mug. And my jewel is something that you've probably heard 1,000,001 times. Believe half what you see, and in most cases, none of what you hear. But in this case, Believe every single word of it. Because y'all need something to believe in from what I've been seeing. I see people, I'm finna rub my crystals. Nah, go pray. Next time you think about Ashe, my ancestors, Amen, my Lord. Because whether y'all want to admit it, whether y'all want to agree with it, we live in all the words I read as a little boy. We living in the age of revelations. So hopefully, for some strange reason, I'm praying in my mind that hopefully everybody that see this episode gonna catch the message in it and understand it's time to change. And not just to change with our fight for equality or our fight to get noticed or our fight to get what we deserve far as America go. It's time for real change. Change up this mentality we got nowadays. Let's stop worshiping social media and get back to the real worshiping. Let's stop following trends and be leaders again. Let's stop doing everything just to fit in and get by and being trailblazers again. Let's stop being selfish and start back being blessings to each other again. And last but not least, let's stop living for likes and start being humane people again. This has been another episode of the Jackson Report. I hope this message was a blessing to the people that needed it to be a blessing to them. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week. Good night, y'all.